Hi, my name is Nick, and in today's video I'm going to take a look at the Shimano Alivio rear derailleur. On one side of the box it just says rear derailleur in multiple languages perhaps. And on the back side, not too much, just on the top there's nothing checked because this is a 9-speed mountain bike touring rear derailleur, so it don't have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 checked. The model I got is RDM3100 SGS for the long cage rear derailleur. They also make different cage lengths, so I got the long one. Another good thing about this 9-speed is that it has a maximum up to 36 tooth cog, and that's pretty rare for 9-speed. Typically the largest cogs are about 34 tooth, so 36 a little rare, and this is good for cross country or trail riding. And I actually plan to put it on a road bike using a 10-speed STI shifters, and hopefully it's compatible. Similar to some of the lower end products, this one's a product of Indonesia. The high-end Shimano components are typically made in Japan. Let's go ahead and see what's included inside the box here. And it looks like on the back side there may be some instructions and the rear derailleur here, and it does say that it's, I believe it's a Shadow Plus rear derailleur. So this one's actually a standard Shimano Shadow rear derailleur. Shimano's website has more information on the Shadow rear derailleur. The Alivio does not have this stabilizer on-off switch or the chain stabilizer system. In a conventional rear derailleur, the distance is 45 millimeters here, but in the Shadow system, it's 12 millimeters more narrow with 33 millimeters. There's actually not too much safety information, just the left column in English here. And because Shimano said they're going green with the user manual, you're going to have to scan the QR code at the top. The main takeaway here is just to never use any acid or alkali-based solvents like rust cleaners to clean the rear derailleur. Now let's take a close look at the rear derailleur itself. And we can see here that the mount for the rear derailleur onto the bike is actually up here. So this almost acts as a device like a wolf tooth extender for a rear derailleur. So it gets lower, so it gets down to the 36 tooth. As I mentioned before, these 9 speeds typically only work up to a 32 or 34 tooth, so to get it to 36 they have this here. The mount is also on the top here, unlike road rear derailleurs where it's further in the back. For example, the Derailleur I have here, as you can tell, it's much smaller, more compact, and probably quite a bit lighter as well. I'll check that out later. Taking a look, this should be the B screw here, and then there's a high and low tension screws, and this low, since it's all the way here, is in the lowest gear or the smallest cog in the rear. So if you loosen it, it pulls this more outward of the bike, and when you tighten it, screw that screw in, it pushes it out further. And so yeah, as you can see, this is the upper one, and then the lower one underneath hits when it's fully extended in the highest gear, like the 36 tooth gear. Underneath you could tell that by the springs it's already pre-greased, and they put quite a bit of grease in there, so it should be good to go, that you don't have to add more grease or lubricate it. It looks pretty lubricated and pretty good in there. The retention system here, let's take a closer look at that. So when installing this rear derailleur, the cable is going to come up through here, and there is a tension, so you could adjust this by screwing it in to bring the cable closer, or loosening it to bring the cable out a little more. For micro adjustments, the cable will come through here and go in through a slot there. So here's a close look. The cable will come up from the top and slot in underneath this. There should already be a type of washer right here where the cable will go between these two, so it clamps in, and it looks like it is already a little loose. Nope, not that loose. You're gonna have to use an Allen wrench. So for installing purposes, up here, this is a 5mm, and also for the mounting portion here, this is also a 5mm to loosen and tighten the cable on. According to Shimano's website, the total capacity is 45 teeth with this long cage, and the maximum low sprocket is 36 tooth. And we did look at that adjustable barrel, and as we mentioned earlier, the low profile design, which is several millimeters narrower than a regular conventional rear derailleur. Notable things is you probably can't use like a 1225 or a 1227. It has to be at least 32 teeth and the most 36 teeth for the cassette. And the max front difference, if you have a double or triple, would be 22 teeth. So if this is on a mountain bike and you have a 22 and you're running a triple, then you could only have up to a 44 for the largest chainring up front. Calls it a top sprocket, but this is the smallest sprocket in the back. It should either be a 12 or 11. So they do make rear derailleurs that are, I believe, like a 1329, but that might not work. They want it to be 12 or 11 because it probably pulls close to the hub, and 13 will probably interfere where you could get the pulley here might be rubbing into the cassette. So I always like to see how the pulleys spin new. Oh, this one looks real good. You know, this other one, not as nice, but still spins quite nicely. This is brand new, straight from the factory, and I did purchase it from an authorized Shimano dealer, and that's easy to find. I could put the link in the description below on how to make sure that you're buying from a authorized Shimano dealer. It's on their website. You could just search for the authorized dealers and check out a bike shop and make sure it's authorized, and then you should be getting genuine Shimano parts. So let's compare the weight. There wasn't a listed weight on the Shimano website, so I'll go ahead and check that out for you. And it comes in at about 277 grams, and that is not particularly light, but it is not a high-end rear derailleur, so not expecting it to be light. This new Alivio 9-speed mountain rear derailleur, I will be trying to install it on a 10-speed road, as I mentioned earlier, so why not compare it with other 10-speed road rear derailleurs? I have a Derailleur, I believe this is a 7800 series, Tiagra, which is one of the lower end series, and then also a SRAM Force 10-speed rear derailleur that I could compare the weights to. As we saw earlier, the Alivio is approximately 277 grams. And then let's see if we go down in weight, if my guess is right. Actually, the Tiagra is actually not that much lighter. It's still 259 grams for a road rear derailleur, and this is also small cage. It's not even a medium or large, whereas the Alivio is large cage. Force should be quite a bit lighter. There's a carbon cage also. Yes, jumps all the way down to 178 grams because the cage here is carbon. Now, let's go to Derailleur 10-speed. And 183 grams. So yes, these are almost a quarter-pound lighter than the Alivio, so it does make a difference for one component. So these road rear derailleurs typically only go up to about a 28 tooth maximum per manufacturer recommendations, and with the Alivio going up to 36 tooth, I'm going to see if I could install it onto my road bike with a 36 tooth. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and stay tuned and subscribe for more. If you'd like to see if this works on a 36 tooth cassette, I'll go ahead and try to install it. Thanks for watching. Have a most wonderful day.